That's it. So,
Yeah.
matter of seconds, brother.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So we'll be out here through Wednesday having some fun. We'll have all kinds of interviews for you. Hopefully, we'll have several players. Hopefully, we'll have some media members, maybe some inside people in football, all kinds of good stuff. Already got some insight already yesterday out here. So we had a good time. We got here last night. And we're in our beautiful rooms here at the Tradewinds Resort. And by the way, if you are coming out west, okay, and you're coming out to the Tampa St. Pete area, Tradewinds Resort is awesome for you to stay. I've been telling you about it now for years. So really, really nice place. And it's got everything. I mean, it is an absolute complete resort. Pools, ginormous beach. The rooms are really nice. How's your room, Bill? How's your room?
It is literally a mini house.
Right.
Between the kitchen, the living room. I mean, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, yep. So this is our, I believe it's like 6 or 7 years that we've been here coming to the Tradewinds. So we'll have a little fun. We're going to check out a whole bunch of players. By the way, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Big O Radio Show. Today we'll be at practice in the afternoon. We'll have back-to-back practices, and then we'll come back and we'll do another show later in the afternoon here. And I'm hoping that when we come back from that second practice, we're going to have an opportunity to maybe have some of the players on, get some media guys on, talk a little bit about the players that are here. We'll talk a lot of draft. There'll be a lot of draft talk over the next couple of days. We'll be talking, we do have players here. Shaq Quarterman and Michael Pickney are here, so we'll get to see those linebackers. Hopefully we'll have them on the show. But I'm interested to see guys like Alex Smith from Charlotte, Derek Tuska, I think is how it's pronounced, out of North Dakota State. There's a couple of guys out there that are going to catch people's eyes, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of these cats out here and seeing what they do and how they end up climbing the charts, in the draft and trying to impact here and improve their draft stock. So we'll have a little fun with that. We've got the national championship game tonight. So we got to look for a nice little – I got a great spot for us to go see the national championship game. Really cool spot. So looking
Would
forward.
expect nothing less from you, man.
Yeah,
you know the lay of the land.
Yes.
You're that guy.
Yes. So we'll probably get together with a couple of
In a previous life, you were like a travel agent, a sightseer, whatever location, all the little ins and outs.
I always tell people I'm a facilitator of fun is what it is. That's what I am. I'm here to bring some fun to the table. So if you're hanging with me, going out with me, we're going to have some fun. We're going to grind, but we're also going to have some fun along the way. And tonight's one of those nights where you got to have a little fun and enjoy a little Clemson LSU. Although I am not one of those that is saying, oh, well, this is LSU for sure. I'm not counting Clemson out. Clemson's loaded with a whole bunch of guys that know how to play this game at the highest level and have won it. And they're led by a guy that is fearless. I mean, if that Malachi crunch that happened in the Ohio State game where he, woke up from that thing and ran for 70 yards and took over the damn game, if that doesn't convince you, nothing's going to convince you at that point. So we got that going on. So we'll talk a little Clemson and LSU. Remember, you can always chime in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. And by the way, we want to thank Wendy for helping us out here and getting us situated and everything here. Jessica Williams also with the East-West Shrine game.
Jim from their IT department. He's the one that actually set the cords down, got us going.
Yep. So very helpful. They've always been great with us here. Actually, all the other days we've been usually down there, and I can smoke cigars because it's outside. The great Brian Levy. What's up, baby? How you doing, man? You doing all right? All right. We'll be out here all week. All right. Be good. There you go. That's actually give you a little insight. That was Jay Fiedler's agent.
Aha.
Brian represents players, but he represents more nowadays. He does a lot of coaches.
Okay.
He has a lot of NFL coaches, and so yeah, and he had Fiedler back in the day.
Nice.
That's how I got to know him back in the day, in the '90s when he had Fiedler, and I was obviously covering the team, and I was a beat writer, and I started going on the road. And then that's when I got to meet him and obviously a slew of other people that I've gotten to know over the years here on the road, which
One person I have to say, first call, because obviously I couldn't get a hold of Wendy because it was a little bit before 7 o'clock, wanted to get started. Emily at the front desk.
Oh, yeah?
She was the one that, this is where you're at, blah, blah, blah. Set the bell captain up, bada bing. We got everything set. And then Wendy and Jim showed up, put up the cords, hooked us up. Here we are. We're on, man.
It's a beautiful thing, man. And next week we'll be at the team hotel for the Senior Bowl. You know, anybody in South Florida going to do that? Of course not, because they're not hardcore sports. They're not going to follow it. You know, Intercom doesn't care about that. All they do is destroy sports. So it's a beautiful thing. Hey, listen, the more they do it in town, the more we're going to kick their ass. So that's what I love about it. It's a beautiful thing. You guys want real hardcore sports, you want football, you want draft information, you're not going to get it anywhere else. So that's fine with me. They can keep doing this, and we'll keep kicking their butt, and the downloads will continue to just absolutely explode. So there you go. The legend that is
Mr.
Bill Polian.
Bill Polian, yes.
Sure. So anyway, if you want to get in, of course, on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show, as always. And remember to follow the YouTube channel, Big O Radio Show. We are going to be posting a lot of videos, and they'll all be going through YouTube. So it'll be a good way for you to find out about all the stuff going on out here at the East West, and then the next week at the Senior Bowl. So make sure you follow us there on our YouTube channel at Big O Radio Show.
It's like every minute by the minute, a who's who of the NFL walks by.
Yeah. Well, this is nothing.
I
Next
can imagine,
week,
yes,
it takes it to another level.
Right.
Because everybody in the NFL, not everybody's here, but you'll see some GMs. You won't see a lot of them. You'll probably see maybe on average 4, 5, 6 GMs, no more than that. Unless there's like this talent that slipped and came to this game that's like a guy that maybe has a lot of baggage but came here instead of the Senior Bowl or something. Next week is where every general manager, every offensive coordinator, every head coach, every defensive coordinator, every scout, everybody is there. You know what I mean? That is.
In other words, if you're not there and part of the organization, you're probably not still with the organization.
Well, I mean, no, that's actually not true, because the Bengals are so cheap that they don't send everybody.
There are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, because I've known guys that work for the Bengals, and it's like, no, we're not going. They're not spending any money. It's like,
how could you not go find out about your future?
I know, because they only need 2 guys, so they'll just send 2 guys, and then and they don't need a scout. They don't need scouts all over the country and scouring and working it. Nah, they'll just grab some report and read off of it from the internet and make their list like that. It's just. It is what it is, dude.
A half-ass effort.
Yeah. That's why I laugh when people tell me about tanking. It's like, do you know Mike Brown? Do you know anything about this business? Do you know anything about our league? How dare you say the Dolphins are tanking when they're cleaning out their cap so they can spend all that money? They're not frugal. They've never been frugal in their lives. They got an owner that all he does is spend and make everything top-notch. I mean, I don't know when was the last time you've been to the stadium there for a concert or a game, but that's a different stadium nowadays. Bridges and tunnels and just every modern little hook that you can possibly ask for, you got it in that stadium nowadays. So it's just ridiculous to
on top of the practice facilities being located, one-stop area, that's Dolphin home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it really is
Ross
amazing.
doesn't mess around, man.
Never has. I mean, he's just got to get it right, and I think now is when they got it right, and they're headed in the right direction. So We are out here at the East West Shrine Game in beautiful St. Pete. We're at the Trade Winds Resort, which you can see right here, right under us, right here. I see that. See that box right there? That box right there. TradeWindsResort.com. Call them for reservations. Come on out here and join us, or take. I will tell you this: you got a special someone, and you want to freak them out, bring them out here. That beach is picturesque. I got to take some pictures and some videos for you guys, and I'll post them on social media. But telling you, sunsets, all that stuff, walks. That beach is awesome and giant. It's like almost like, I don't know, 100 yards from the beginning of the beach till you get to the water almost. You know what I mean? It's like one of those kind of beaches, like giant. Like, wow, holy crap.
I see they got a great big huge tent set up out there. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah. Multiple pools.
All kinds of,
slides. They got this giant, inflatable slide. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff here at the Trade Winds Resort. And in fact, it's 31 acres. They got a floating water park. They got 14 restaurants and bars. They got 7 swimming pools. And the slide that I told you, it's 3 stories tall. Okay? So
36 feet high.
Yep.
200 feet long. The
Yep.
standing record is 221 times in one day.
Yep.
Ride.
Yep. And they've got the Rumblefish Grill, which is what I told you about next door, with the 33,500-gallon aquarium, which was on Animal Planet's hit show, Tanked. They got that here, too. So they got all kinds of stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's a really, really nice resort. Over the years that I've stayed here to cover the game, I've always taken pictures of it and all that good stuff. We'll do the same thing. We'll take some pictures and we'll post some videos. All right, we got a bunch of things to talk about. Obviously, yesterday we had the playoff games to kind of settle everything and get the AFC, NFC championship games done. Packers and Seahawks. Seahawks tried to make it a game. Listen, I don't even think Jimmy Graham really got the first down. It might have been whatever, but Packers ended up doing enough to get it done. Devontae Adams was, that throw to get the first down from Rodgers to Devontae. Listen, Rodgers completes 16 passes, 8 of them go to Devontae Adams. But that clutch throw, that clutch catch, that was the one that sealed the deal there and just ended up pretty much winning it for them. But I just, impressive stuff, man, yesterday. It was a hell of a game, and Russell tried to make the magic happen. He did his best. They weren't sharp early on, and then Russell started creating the magic. It was just a little too much. It was just, the opposite of what happened in the other game, basically. The other game was I can't imagine being a Texans fan yesterday watching that game, because you're up 24-0. You're feeling really good, man. You got Deshaun Watson and a 24-point lead. You got a dog like that leading your team. That dude is a badass. And for them to lose that lead and to watch them turn around and score 40-some points on a consecutive streak there, that's unheard of. It really is. I mean, they scored 21 points in like 3 minutes and 36 seconds or 23 seconds or whatever it was. I mean, that call by Bill O'Brien. First of all, look, I have no problem going for the field goal and make it 24-0. That was the right move. It would have been a panic move to go for the first down and try to get the touchdown, because then that means you have no confidence in your team up 21-0, that you need 28. And I know the coach said after, well, we knew we were going to need 50 points. At that moment, you weren't thinking 50 points. When you're up 21-0 and you're on the brink of going 24, or you would go up 28, you're not thinking that Kansas City's scoring 50 on you, because you're controlling the game. Now, that fake punt, that, my friends, was a catastrophically stupid call. Because that one, you didn't need to do that. You're in control of the game. Play the field position game at that point. Be smart. That was a panic move. If you go for the first down instead of the field goal, that's a panic move. Because you're up 21-0, you're thinking that's not enough already, and you're controlling the game. No, you go 24, okay, and you play the game the right way, and you don't go for the fake punt. You punt it, and you rely on your defense, and you make their offense work to get those points. You cannot then fail in that attempt in the punt. And then all of a sudden now, in that fake punt, you turn over the ball. They've got a short field. You're trying this on your own 31 in a playoff game. Are you kidding me?
You're not at midfield. You're pretty deep in your territory. What are you doing?
I'm not even doing it at midfield. I'm punting at midfield, and I'm pinning you inside the 10.
You compound it. Exactly. You're compounding it. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if you were on their 30, 35, and you went for it. Okay. But you were on your own 31-yard line. You're in control of the game. Stay cool, man. Punt the ball. You gave them all the life they needed. You know they're an explosive offense. Keep them second-guessing themselves. Keep them frustrated. Not give them hope. Because remember, when you've got a Watson and a Mahomes, the second you give those guys the light of day, it's over. You're done. You're cooked. Those kind of guys will take you out. The Aaron Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons, those kind of guys, you cannot give them a chance. They're not momentum quarterbacks. They're not rhythm quarterbacks. Okay? What we're watching with Tennessee, I mean, Ryan Tannehill's playing terrific. He's making the throws they need. But it's also genius because they're not putting him in a position where he has to carry the team. Because Derrick Henry's the focal point. And then Ryan is feeding off of Derrick. Well, when you've got guys like Mahomes and Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, those kind of guys, they can take over games. They can beat you with their arms. See, the guys like Lamar, they have to feed off the run in order to pass. Ryan Tannehill has to feed off that run, off that play action and that dominant running game. If the running game's not working for Ryan, if the running game's not working for Lamar, you saw the end result. Why? Because they can't rely on their arms. Their arms aren't good enough to beat you on a consistent basis. But these kind of cats, you can't do that to Mahomes. And you cannot do that to Deshaun Watson. You cannot do that to Aaron Rodgers. You do that, and you are toast. And you look at what's going on in this Packers and Chiefs, two guys that are Garoppolo. I think he's a much better passer than Ryan Tannehill any day of the week and twice on Sundays. But he's got to, prove a little bit more to get to that point where those guys are at. But he's another one of those guys that we'll see how he handles it if somehow or another they can stop that running game for the Niners. If the Packers are able to, because that's what the Packers are going to do. They're going to say, Mostert, all these guys, they're not going to beat us. We're going to force Jimmy G to beat us. And so he's going to have to get it done. Just like that's what the Niners are going to do to the Packers. They're going to take Aaron Jones out of this game, and Rodgers can do it, but he's going to have to do it. Because, of course, you'd rather them try to beat you passing than running the ball because you have more opportunities to create turnovers, incomplete passes, stop the clock, all those things. You run the ball, you control the clock, you control the amount of possessions, you keep the other offense off the field. That's why the Tennessee formula is so good right now. It works perfectly for them because you're not asking your quarterback at all to put the game on his shoulders because he can't. So you have Henry pound him, and then Ryan has done an excellent job of complementing and making the specific throws that they've needed to either score or keep a drive alive. And to his credit, he's done an excellent job in that. I mean, Vrabel has really put it all together the right way. But yesterday, I'm the owner. I'm firing Bill O'Brien today. I am. I'm sorry. You have a 24-0 lead. You lose that game. You get routed. You're up 24-0, and then you get routed. Think about that. It's the early second quarter, and you only added 7 more points after that for the rest of almost 3 quarters in that game.
Most consecutive points scored in a postseason unanswered.
Yeah.
41 points.
It's crazy. I mean, that is nuts. To me, I don't know.
No excuse.
I don't know how you keep Bill O'Brien around. I know he's made the playoffs. He's actually done a pretty decent job there. He's done a solid job as a head coach. But remember, he's also now the general manager in a way. And I just don't think he's the right person to have power over control when coaching is still somewhat, not excellent, but it's all right, because he's had decent results, even with, not so good quarterbacks at times, even before Watson. But what he did yesterday, man, you lose a 24-point lead and then you get routed by 20. If I'm the owner, I don't know how I'm staying with that guy. I really don't. That's one where I would really have to question it. 786-322-1105 is the accidentlawfirm.com text line if you want to get in on the program as we take you. We'll go about 11:15, right around there, and then we're going to take off to practice. And we got to go to back-to-back practices this afternoon. Right now they're doing the weigh-ins. So all of the players are getting weighed and measured and all that good stuff. So you'll find out the real heights of all these players, their real weight, all that stuff, because they tell you the quarterback is 6'4", and he's 6'2.25".
Charles Barkley 6'9", back in the day.
Well, no, and in basketball, they kept lying until now, actually.
You were saying, yes.
Yeah, they now just started to really measure players without their shoes and all that. The NFL's been doing it for years. I mean, they lie in college. But when you get to the NFL, there's no lying anymore. It's, dude, here's the official measurement.
You are what you are.
And that's it. Everybody's got to know the real information because they've got to know everything about you before they draft you. So you're getting measured here, and then when you get to the combine, you'll be poked and prodded like cattle, and they will check every inch of your body to see if everything is put together the right way and there is no damaged goods, as they say.
Let me make an observation. I don't know if you noticed, but about 5 minutes ago, the sun was glaring right on you. And I was almost like, man, you might need some shades. Obviously, the sun has moved, but kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, because it's kind of it's a field house like here.
A little bit of an observation. Our first draft location, our future's so bright.
There we go.
Gotta wear shoes, and the sun shining, beaming like.
I love it.
To start off the blocks like that, it's like a little sign.
I love it. What do we got here on the YouTube chat board? George says, good morning, boys. Great weekend. One more game to go. Yes. Can't wait for tonight. User Tom says, what up, Big O? Yes, sir. Thank you. Guillermo, good morning, boys. Flipside Fishing, good morning. What a great weekend of football. And we're not done yet. That's the beauty. Orlando Sanchez says, then why did Tennessee start 2-4 and Henry was healthy? You may not want to admit, but Tannehill was the catalyst for the run. Pretty much shows your anti-Tannehill narrative. Hey, listen, Orlando, you can go with whatever you want, bro. Trent Dilfer won a championship. Doing the same thing. Just complimenting. If you think Ryan can carry a team, look, again, I said it on the podcast on Sunday, and go back and listen if you want. Take the Ryan Fitzpatrick challenge. Does Ryan Tannehill win 5 games with the Dolphins this year? That's all you need to know. If you think Ryan can do what Fitzpatrick did and just win 5 games with no talent and no Derrick Henry, no running game, no offensive line, then I'm wrong, Orlando. Okay? You got it, Orlando Sanchez? I'm dead wrong. If you think Ryan Tannehill can win the 5 games that Fitzpatrick did this year on this Dolphins team, then I'm wrong. Then I'm completely off. Okay? That's all. Listen, there are idiots in Philadelphia that think Nick Foles is a really good starting quarterback, and he's not. He's a terrible starting quarterback. He's a mediocre starting quarterback. He's really more of a backup. But the sun shined on his ass, and, everything went well. They called all the right plays, and, there's a Trent Dilfer, and there's a broken-down Peyton Manning, and there's, guys like that do end up getting to not just Ryan can win a championship like this because they don't need him much. The guy passed for 160 yards in 2 games. Come on. But, listen, you can believe whatever you want. Orlando, you want to believe Ryan is the guy? We got idiots in Philadelphia that think Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz's problem is that he can't stay healthy. It's not that he can't ball. He was balling the last couple of weeks with nobody receivers. And if you think Ryan Tannehill can do what Carson Wentz did the last couple of weeks with nobody receivers, then I'm wrong again. That's all. Pretty simple. Hey, listen, I wasn't believing in Lamar Jackson either. All year I wasn't believing in it because it was all a gimmick off the run. And I knew it. If you take the run away, I want to see you beat him with the arm, and you can't. And he threw for a whole bunch of yards, and he ran for a bunch of yards, but he scored 12 points because they took the run away. Because once you take the run away, then you take away his game. Same thing with Ryan. If he doesn't have Derrick Henry to play off of, they're dead in the water. But, again, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I've seen the game enough to know when you've got a complimentary player and he's living off of everybody else. And that's what's happening right now. And he's doing an excellent job of complimenting Derrick Henry. That's it. Nothing more. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. And I don't want him quarterbacking the Miami Dolphins at all. So you want him? Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
What was the stats? 7 of 14 for 83 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
and he threw 72 or something the week before.
Exactly. The best impersonation of Bob Greasy we've seen in 40 years. Right?
Yeah.
Bob Greasy. This is Bob Greasy.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bob also was a winner before that. He won at Purdue. He was, Bob was a real quarterback, okay? He
knew the game. He knew what he needed to do.
At that time, they didn't, in those teams, they didn't need him to pass a whole ton. But what, you think that if the running game dies out, Orlando Sanchez, since you're listening and you're watching, answer this. If Derrick Henry cannot run the ball next week, can Ryan Tannehill carry them to a victory by himself? Can he do that? You tell me that. If you think so, then I'm wrong. I don't. There's no way in the world he does it. But what he's doing right now, excellent job for Ryan. Excellent job. Role player. And he's doing an excellent, perfect job, just like Trent Dilfer did, just like Nick Foles did, filling in, complimenting. Nothing wrong with that. He should be commended for it. I wish him. I hope Ryan wins the Super Bowl. Okay? I got no problem with it. I got nothing with it. But don't tell me that he's arrived or that he's a good quarterback or anything. No. Game manager on his best day, and that's what he's doing right now. But if you think he can elevate a team, come on, man. Come on. All I have to do is, you know what? In fact, let me give you another example. All I got to do is look it up here. It's hard for me to walk and chew gum, so I've got to be patient with me here because I've got to talk and then find stuff and get it for you. But we'll get it for you in a second. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program as we take you, of course, till about 11:15. Then we'll head out to practice. It's a different schedule this week. Tomorrow, we'll be on again today, but it'll be in the afternoon after the two practices. We'll have a report for you about the practices. We'll take notes and give you some of the guys that shined, and then hopefully we'll also have maybe a player or two on with us in the afternoon. So we'll have more of that also for you, and media members and things like that. We'll have all kinds of draft stuff all throughout the week here on the program. And remember, you can always reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. 4 weeks ago, the Tennessee Titans could have locked up the playoffs if they would have beaten the Texans. I'm talking about the first matchup with the Texans.
When they played their
guys.
Yes. Everybody on the roster was playing.
Derrick Henry had 21 rushes for 86 yards. Did they win, Bill?
That would be a negative.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill was 22 of 36. They had him throw 36 times and complete 22 of them, 279, 2 touchdowns and interception. He couldn't guide them to a win because Henry couldn't run. I mean, hey, listen, I get it, man. If you have an agenda, you think mine is just simply, hating on the kid or something. No, man. Call it like I see it. If I'm wrong, and I'll say it, I'm wrong. I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not going to help me or hurt me, okay, at all. And it's not the first time that I'm wrong. So it's going to happen a whole bunch. The Tennessee Titans the following week, they lost to the Saints 38-28. You know how much they rushed for that day? Lewis had 68 yards. A.J. Brown had 49. Dawkins had 24. Tannehill had 8. And he threw 3 touchdowns in that game. They couldn't win. They didn't have Derrick Henry in the game. He didn't play that game. They lost 38-28. So they would have been in the playoffs if they beat New Orleans and Houston. One of the two. Remember when Tannehill all he had to do was beat the Jets and the Bills? One of the two, and he would have gone in the playoffs, and he didn't. Henry didn't play in the Saints game. They lost. Henry couldn't run against the Texans. They lost. All right, but you make whatever agenda you want. Lamar, they can't run. He lost. They couldn't dominate in the running game. I wonder why Lamar lost. You think Trent Dilfer wins if Jamal Lewis is not dominating? And that defense? Come on, man.
Jamal Lewis had 2,000 yards that year.
Watch the games, man. Watch the game of football. When you can run and control the clock, that's heaven, man. That's absolute heaven. That's exactly what you want. You need to get it done that way. If you can do it, that's what Tennessee's saying. Why am I going to put the ball up in the air and risk turnovers and risk interceptions and all of that? Henry. So when you release the Kraken and he's dominating, Ryan can play off of that. But if the beast doesn't dominate, don't go knocking on that door because it ain't going to bail you out. That's why I'm going to laugh when they give him the extension. Okay? I'm going to laugh because they're going to count on him to be the savior. Because eventually you will need your quarterback to be a savior. Now, if you end up in a blessed position, right? Like the Ravens were in that position. They were in a position that they were fooling everybody with that offense. A lot of people could not adjust. They didn't have the defense to kind of corral everything and kind of control that running game, right? And they could have run the table, win the championship, and the following year they probably would have flopped on their face because people would have figured it out and all that. Tennessee had the personnel to figure it out. And trust me, in that division, If you want to come back with that kid, they're going to do the same thing. All right, let's make sure they don't run on us and they don't gouge us with big runs. Force the kid to beat you with his arm. And once you force the kid to beat you with his arm, that's where he's going to struggle. That's why I never bought in the whole year. And all you guys that were arguing with me about Lamar back and forth, what did I tell you? I said, check back with me in December of 2020. And if he's still doing it into his second year, late into the season, then I'll tell you I'm wrong. If he's still healthy, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But either way, he's got to prove to me he can beat people with his arm. And then, long term, he's got to prove to me he can stay healthy running 200 times a year. I was steadfast on that. And with Ryan, hey, it's the same thing as Josh Allen. I've never bought Josh Allen either. He can't run. He can't pass. Same thing. If you don't have the running game with Josh Allen, he's not bailing you out with his arm. If you don't have the running game with Ryan Tannehill, he's not bailing you out with his arm. If you don't have the running game with Lamar Jackson, he's not bailing you out with his arm. That's just the way these guys, that's the way the system is set up, because that's who they are. Because they are not Russell. They're not Matt Ryan. They're not any of those kind of guys that are pure passers. If you don't see that, I can't help you.
Question for you regarding Lamar. Obviously, the last week, 17 not playing, and then getting the bye week. That's 2 weeks. Lack of game time. You can't emulate that in practice. He looked off, man. It didn't help having those 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I'm not.
I know that you're all, but I'm just going to say there's a little
Didn't Kansas City have 2 weeks off? And they scored 51 points?
No, Kansas City had to play, if you remember, because they were battling the Patriots. If the Patriots would have beat the Dolphins, they don't have an option. Remember,
who was off?
The Dolphins go in, and we beat the Patriots, and Kansas City had to win Week 17 to get that bye week.
No, but they had the bye week, so they were off.
Yeah, but not 2 weeks. Week 17 they played. They only had 1 week off. Baltimore, remember, didn't play anybody Week 17. That's 2 weeks off.
I'm not in it. That's excuses.
It does.
Excuses are for losers, bro.
You don't think Russ?
No, you're a professional. You've played an entire season. You should be happy that you had 2 weeks off, so your body is fresh. You've had 17 weeks to fine-tune your game. If you're going to tell me that, oh, he was off because he was off for an extra week, oh, please, and then you're not the guy. Sorry.
Okay.
You know, just you're not the guy then. You're not the coach. You're not the team. That's it. If your excuse is you had time off, I mean, we either give them the excuse that they didn't get time off and they're playing consecutive weeks, or we give them the excuse that they had time off.
Too much time.
I mean, it's just that's.
It's an out. It's an out either way.
Yeah, there's no outs for me. I'm sorry. No way. Lamar Jackson will win a Super Bowl. Got to give that guy more weapons, and he will be good. Dude, he has like the group of best tight ends in the NFL. He's got Hollywood Brown. He's got a running game. What are you talking about? What more weapons do you need? He's got to become a better passer. So when the running game doesn't work, he can do the things that Russell does, that Pat Mahomes does, that Tom Brady does. Whether you can run or you're as stiff as a statue, you've got to be able to play the game from the pocket. He can't play the game from the pocket on a consistent basis. It's got to be a rhythm part of his running. You take the run out, you take him out of rhythm. That's what it is. More weapons. That's excuses too. Join Bill there on the excuse meter. Kidding me? More weapons. Got enough weapons. Greasy could air it out. I know he could. Greasy was a hell of a player. He just was a smart player, and so was Shula. Shula adapted to whatever talent he had. So when he had to run in the 70s, he ran in the 70s. And when he had to pass and run with Woodstock, he passed and run with Woodstock. I mean, Shula was doing things that they do nowadays with Woodley. Not that Woodley was much of a passer. Kind of some of the other things that we were just talking about, some of these guys, David suffered from the same thing. He was more of a runner than a passer. If you were depending on Woodley's arm, you were dead in the water. It's pretty simple. That's it. And then he gets Marino and he goes pass happy. That's part of a coach. It's not a greasy thing. That was a coach adjusting to, well, you have Zonka, Kick, and Morris. You run like crazy. That's what you do.
That offensive
you have Jamal
line.
Lewis, you run. You have great running backs, you run. That's what you do. You have Derrick Henry, you punish people. It's what smart coaches do. When you can run, man, there's nothing like that. As much as a pass-happy league as this is, if you can dominate a team on the ground, do it every single time. Every single time. It's a beautiful thing. Think about some of the Dolphins have been a bad team for a long, long time. The few times that they've been good, it's Ricky Williams, it's Lamar Smith, it's Jay Ajayi. Think about it. Think about what goes with those times when you actually have had a half-decent team. You had a running game that you can – since you didn't have a great quarterback, you needed the running game so Fiedler can feed off of it. You needed the running game so Tannehill can feed off of it. You needed the running game for whatever quarterback you had because they had to feed off it because they weren't good enough to carry you. Those of you that are too young, you don't remember. Those of us that are old enough, we saw Marino. No running game, he had to carry them. It's elementary, man. It's been going on forever in football. What you're seeing with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, nothing new. There's been plenty of offenses over the years. I just told you about Jay Fiedler. You weren't going to be carried by Jay Fiedler's arm. But as long as Ricky or Lamar or any of those guys were running, Jay could feed off of it and make a couple of plays for you. That's all. No difference. It's really not that complicated. Does it sound complicated to you at all?
No.
Well, you know what? You're a perfect example. Your loser Bears, for years, have had quarterbacks that you can't depend on, and they depended on the running game, and those quarterbacks had to feed off the running game. The only time you had it was McMahon before he got slammed by Martin.
Yep.
Okay?
Totally changed. We led the league 6-7 years in a row, number one rush offense and number one rush defense. It even carried over.
I don't care about the defense, but the offense.
Even after Walter left,
right.
Neil Anderson had two great years.
Yes.
Yep.
And you were winning a ton of games, 9-6.
No.
10-12.
Yes, our worst season during that run. If we only won 11 games, that was not that great of a season.
That's all it is, man. That's all it is. And
in the playoffs, if you can control the line of scrimmage and run the ball and keep away,
right?
It's super huge advantage.
When a coach figures out right away, I don't have the quarterback that's the guy. Okay, so I don't have that guy, then I need to complement him and not expose him. And so then let me build the line, let me build the running game, and then my quarterback will complement and make plays at specific times for me. I just need you to make a couple of throws. I don't need you to drive down the field every single time because we can't, we can barely run the ball. It's a whole different, it's a different game. And what Mike Vrabel is doing is genius. He knows he doesn't have the guy, but he has a guy that can at least make certain throws for him. Okay.
A simple breakdown.
That's it. I'm not going to put the game in his hands. I'm going to put the game in my defense, my offensive line, and my running game. That's it. You live off of that. The Ravens made it all the way to the Super Bowl and won it back in 2001 that way. They relied on their defense. They relied on Jamal Lewis and that offensive line and Jonathan Ogden. And then they needed that quarterback to just make a couple of throws. That's what Tennessee is doing. That's exactly what they're going by. And they're hoping that they can do what the Denver Broncos did a couple of years ago. Peyton Manning is the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. That guy was so broken down he couldn't throw more than 10 yards. But they won the Super Bowl because he only needed to make a couple of throws They depended on the defense and the running game, and everything else worked out. Even with a limited, broken down Peyton Manning, they won. Because it's kind of the same thing of what we're talking about with these other guys. Now, when he played your Bears, he was the real Peyton Manning that even if the running game wasn't working, he's going to elevate you. You know?
Yeah.
That's the difference. You know, what I told you before, and for you Dolph fans out there that are like all crying about Ryan or whatever, and like I told you, he doesn't win. You get Ryan and put him on the Dolphin team this year, he doesn't win 5 games. The Dolphins, in fact, if you have Ryan Tannehill on the 2019 Dolphins, you have the number 1 pick in the draft. You'd be lucky to win 1 game with Ryan in that offense, that offensive line, getting killed, getting bombarded. He would have been scatterbrained like he normally gets in those kind of moments. Okay? I'll give you something else. Just ask yourself this question. Be objective. Does Devontae Parker have the kind of season he had with Ryan instead of Fitz? Does Gesicki get elevated by Tannehill or Fitz? Just ask your question.
Man, for that, you could go down to Hearns. Does Hearns get re-signed? Do we see Preston Williams as a rookie make the strides? And the answer is simply no. Look,
Because he never elevated anybody else.
50%. If you're going to pass just a little bit, is 50% a good completion percentage?
No.
He threw 14 passes, completed 7.
Right.
For a lousy 80. He didn't even hit the 100 mark.
No, he just hit the big shots.
Yeah,
Which,
and you know what?
And to his credit, he did the
He did what he
money
need-
plays.
what he did what
The
he
money
needed
plays.
to do. Let's also talk about this. Play action. When you have a real running game and you are dedicating so many people, and actually the Patriots didn't, but Baltimore did. They put 8 guys in the box. It was about stopping Henry.
Right.
And
they
when
couldn't.
when you have that running game and you have that play action, that gives that receiver an extra step or two and creates a bigger window for your quarterback to be able to complete a pass.
Yep.
Okay, so
Emilio says, good O-line can make your QB look like a stud. Dolphins, let's build a wall for our next QB, specifically if they draft Tua. Exactly. That's why Nick Foles looks great, and he wins a Super Bowl. But it's not because Nick Foles is a great quarterback. You know, he's a serviceable guy. He's a middle-of-the-road guy. He's a mediocre starter in the NFL. Great backup, mediocre starter. I mean, think about it. He won a Super Bowl, made all the plays. When the Jags gave him that contract, what did you say? Did you say great signing? No, you didn't. Because you knew Nick Foles, even though he won the Super Bowl. Yet, some of you out there, Ryan is only complimented and you somehow think he's arrived or something? Please. Come on, man. Let's use some common sense here in the process. Hey, you know, we've been talking for like 52 minutes straight. Do they talk? Do you get a 52-minute segment on radio? Just wondering. Okay. That's all. Just want to throw it out there because you got all those lame-ass stations in town. By the way, our program is proudly brought to you by Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. And right now, folks, they got some great deals. 2020 models right now. ILX is $209. The TLX is $239. The RDX $339. MDX $349. Only $29.99 do it signing, plus tax, tag, and registration. You got to check out also the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles and the used cars. Get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business. Tell them that Big O sent you, and they will take care of you at Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.9%. 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodzie can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Thinking about buying a
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodzie now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodzie can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We are ready to rock.
This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we're coming to you live, baby, from the beautiful Trade Winds Resort here in St. Pete, site of the East-West Shrine Game. It's our 21st first year covering the East-West Shrine game. Yes, I'm old. I've been around for a while and enjoying it out here 21 years. I've gone from San Fran to San Antonio to Houston to Orlando and now St. Pete. And I think this is like year 6 or 7 or something like that here. So
You prefer it in the backyard as opposed to traveling all over?
I love it that it's right here, yes.
Yeah.
Although San Fran wasn't a bad trip, okay? I will say that.
We have aspirations of doing that next year with the Dolphins.
Yes, I wasn't impressed with the San Antonio and Houston stops, but luckily they were only 2 years each in those. All right, we are going to talk a little football right now. John Bueller does it writes NFL for Fansided, and you can follow him on Twitter at Bueller118. John, I would imagine that the Ferris Bueller jokes were like, I'm sure it still goes on, right? Is that what it is?
Pretty much every day since third grade, anytime I meet anybody new. But, I'm just glad the movie was a good movie.
Now, wait a minute. Let me ask you something. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, so I'm glad that you're young. Did you know about the movie and the scene before somebody brought it up? Or did somebody bring it up and then that made you go look at Ferris Bueller?
I think the first time I heard it, I was probably in like second grade, but because it was starting to come up more and more often, my dad's like, look, John, you probably need to watch this movie. I know it's PG-13. You're only like 10, but like, just get ready for it. And, I still say I probably watch it at least once a year.
Of course.
To kind of keep up with all the references. I'm sure I know all of them, but by this point, why would I not?
Yeah. And you probably picked up a couple tips on things to do in school and how to skip and those kind of things, right? I mean, that was the main thing about that movie. Perfect tips on how to get out of school.
Yeah. I can't always say that I was successful in that, but, we just want to try to be as cool as Ferris Bueller was. Still trying to this day, but here we are.
I got you. All right, John. What'd you think yesterday of Bill O'Brien, my brother? Because I didn't really have a problem with the field goal. In fact, I thought that was the right move. It would have been more of a panic move, I thought, if you were going to go for it there. But the fake punt for me was unacceptable, and that turned everything around. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm right there with you, man. I totally get kicking the field goal there. I mean, it's a chip shot for Fairburn. You go up 24-0. You got to feel really good about where you're at in that game. Kansas City has a history of choking at Arrowhead, and you've got full control there. Midway through the second quarter, but going for it on 4th and 4 from your own 31 that is beyond embarrassing, and that's why he's Bill O'Brien. This is the Texans for you in a nutshell. And I'm like, you just gave all the momentum back to Kansas City, and they never let it go. They scored 41 unanswered points,
and I got
it was unbelievable.
And John, I'm sorry there, but for me, I know he's done a good job overall. He hasn't done a bad job, but to me, that's a fireable moment right there. If I'm the owner, I have just lost it right there. You're up 24-0, and you end up getting routed by 20, and you make that decision. That's the part that really drives me crazy. That they, if I'm the owner, I'd be freaking out on O'Brien.
Absolutely. In the past, I have, given Bill O'Brien, credit. I mean, he's won the division 4 out of 6 years he's been there. You can consistently go 9-7, 10-6. And if you get a good matchup in the wild card round, you can play in the divisional round. But at this time, Houston is the only franchise in football that has not played in a conference championship game. Granted, it's only 18 years old, but this was the opportunity. And at that point, you would have hosted the Titans. You might have won that. You could potentially be going to a Super Bowl. But the ownership's got to look at the situation and realize that they got to make a change. I mean, I can't reasonably expect Romeo Crennel being back next year. I mean, he is in his early 70s. He's had a great career as an NFL head coach. Texans don't have a general manager. And that was just was just shameful to just see the Texans fall apart like that. I mean, I really could not believe what I was watching yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, and on the flip side, watching Mahomes is just, it's magical, man. To watch the way that kid can throw the ball and all the arm angles and all of that. I mean, you watch him and how the master he is, and Rodgers and those kind of guys. And then the opposite is, Tannehill and Lamar and these kind of guys that have to feed off of the run in order for their passing game to work.
Yeah, I knew he had a lot of talent at Texas Tech. I mean, I think obviously having his baseball background and his dad being, a big league relief pitcher certainly helps. But nobody could have reasonably, expected this. I mean, I'm up in Chicago and people are still just like, can't believe that they passed on Mahomes for Mitch Trubisky. I mean, passing on Deshaun Watson was such a bad idea because they played in the same conference in the ACC, but what we saw out of Mahomes is like, this is why he's going to be the face of the AFC for the next decade. I anticipate Kansas City winning probably a couple of Super Bowls during his prime. This might even be the year that it finally happens for KC.
Yeah,
this century.
It's impressive. All right, Seahawks and Packers. Wilson tried to make the magic happen, but it just was a little too late at that point. But hell of a game by the Packers, and I think something none of us expected to see the Packers in the NFC Championship game.
No, it was kind of strange seeing them get, the number 2 seed, with the first-year head coach in Matt LaFleur, who, I thought was a good coach when he was on, under Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta and, a couple other stops before. But, I wasn't overly impressed with LaFleur when he was with the Titans. I think Arthur Smith doing a better job this year than LaFleur did last. But, Green Bay is right there. They have an opportunity on Sunday to, avenge a really, like, their worst loss of the season. Are they the softest 13-3 team of all time? Maybe, but, this is Aaron Rodgers going up against a 49ers team that, is only like, this is like their first playoff game. They're coming off their first playoff win since 2013, I believe. So, it was tough to see, Russell Wilson just do everything he could to try to carry his team to the NFC Championship. But, Green Bay was healthier and they played a more complete game. So credit to the Packers here.
John Bueller, of course, from Fansided joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Bueller118. Your thoughts on Tennessee and Baltimore? The Ravens could not work that running game the way they have all year long. Tennessee had the answer that most teams haven't been able to do in stopping them, and on the flip side, punishing them too with Derrick Henry. Your thoughts on that one?
I had a sneaking suspicion entering that game that Tennessee could upset Baltimore. Baltimore resting players in Week 17 versus Pittsburgh. They're riding a 12-game winning streak. The Baltimore Orioles had lost more recently than the Ravens. But, Tennessee was playing with a ton of momentum. They've been playing essentially a playoff game, since November. And they just went in there and they just out-bullied the Ravens. And the Ravens and Titans have played a bunch of very interesting games in the AFC playoffs this century. And, I think back in 2008, Baltimore beat Tennessee when they were the 1 seed, and then they kind of returned the favor. But Tennessee's it's fun, watching Derrick Henry, hit his prime. The Titans are actually kind of a fun, interesting watch. But I think more importantly than anything, Mike Vrabel's got something pretty good cooking up there in Nashville. And I'm anxious to see how they play against Kansas City next week.
I'm looking forward to that. Now, let me ask you something. Where do you stand? Because, all right, this show originates out of South Florida, so a lot of Dolphin fans are watching. I'm not one of those that's really buying much into Ryan Tannehill. I think he's done an awesome job of complimenting Derrick Henry, and I think that's what he is. I think he's kind of that guy that can compliment, not elevate people. But I'm just wondering, you're probably not a Dolphin. You're probably not living in South Florida. So from an outsider's point of view, how do you view Tannehill's accomplishments this year?
I think what we're seeing this year is kind of what people were hoping they would get out of the Dolphins would get out of him when they took him in the first round out of A&M. You are right in that he is playing very good complementary football, off of the running game with Derrick Henry. I think he's playing very free. I think he's got a really talented wide receiver in A.J. Brown, who I think is a budding star in this league. And, I think I was saying earlier, Arthur Smith is doing a phenomenal job as the Titans offensive coordinator. They're a very fun watch, and Tannehill has certainly taken the Titans offense to a level that Marcus Mariota could never do. I don't think that in the Titans' 2 playoff wins that Tannehill's really been a huge reason that they've advanced. If it comes down to him having to hold his own against Patrick Mahomes, it's not going to happen. If he's were to face Aaron Rodgers, it's probably not going to happen. Maybe against Jimmy Garoppolo, but he looked really good last week or on Saturday versus the Vikings. But I just think that it seems to be working right now for Tannehill. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to keep this up, but it is good to see him play pretty well right now.
It definitely is good because he's a good kid overall. Niners and Vikings. How surprised were you that the Vikings were that dominated in that game?
You could just tell right away it was not going to happen. I thought that the Vikings would match up decently with the 49ers. I think the Vikings have a very deep and complete football team, much like the 49ers. But I think it's just hard to carry momentum from having such a huge road upset over the Saints and then go into Levi Stadium. It's just hard to sustain that. But I think the biggest thing was, I think Kevin Stefanski knew he was going to be the Browns head coach when that game was going on. So, it's kind of hard to be focused on the task at hand with, your bigger opportunity coming up, within the next day or so. I mean, they only got 6 first downs. I mean, you got to give the 49ers defense a lot of credit. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, they just ate the Vikings offensive line alive. It was a really good season for the Vikings, but, it stinks that it ended this way. But, I thought I was expecting a closer game than what we got on Saturday.
John, so what do you think the Niners are going to do to the Packers here? How can the Packers overcome this? Because I have a hard time seeing that. Even with Aaron Rodgers, that defense is just absolutely brutal.
Just Aaron Rodgers having one of his greatest games. I think, he probably wants to avenge his worst game of his career, which I think happened on November 25th when the Packers got destroyed by the Niners. This is the team he grew up rooting for. He's a Northern California kid. He went to Cal. The 49ers could have drafted him number 1 overall, but they went with Alex Smith instead. So this is clearly personal for him. And then, from the coaching matchup, either Kyle Shanahan or Matt LaFleur are going to be leading their team to the Super Bowl. Like I said before, they've worked together at 3 different stops, with the Texans, with the Redskins, and with the Falcons. And I think LaFleur has done very well this year, but he's kind of always been in Shanahan and Sean McVay's shadow. This is an opportunity for him to, one up his coaching buddy. Do I think the Packers are going to win in Santa Clara? No, just because I don't think they're complete enough. I think they're a tad too finesse. But this is Aaron Rodgers, and if he doesn't have this many opportunities left to get to a Super Bowl, so I expect a tremendous performance out of him, and nothing less of that.
And I would imagine you already kind of gave me the answer. You got Chiefs all the way, right? Because you're not expecting Ryan to keep up, and it's going to be tough for Derrick Henry to keep up with that offense too.
I'm actually leaning the 49ers over the Chiefs. I just think that
You mean Titans over the Chiefs? You are?
Oh, Titans over the Chiefs?
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about Titans and Chiefs.
Okay.
Just Titans. You already got us in the Super Bowl, my man. Now, just Titans and Chiefs. Do you give the Titans? How do they win this one? Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way instead, because we know that Ryan can't hang with Mahomes. So how is it that the Titans are going to win this game if they can, in your eyes?
They just go in there and they run the ball down Kansas City's throat. Chiefs do not have a good run defense. The pass defense has improved, and as has the pass rush under Steve Spagnuolo. I think the big thing is this was a huge emotional win for Chiefs Kingdom yesterday. The Titans are coming off the extra day of rest. It was never really in doubt that they were going to lose to Baltimore, once they kind of got going pretty early. But I think the big key here is, for some strange reason, Andy Reid gets his teeth kicked in when he plays the Titans. I believe he's 1-9 all time against the Titans. They lost earlier this season in Nashville. Granted, it was by a field goal, but I think the Titans they're playing very consistent football right now. I mean, I think it's a lot to ask for a number 6 seed to win 3 straight road playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, but they're doing something really, really special right now, and I'm not ruling it out, although I do think that Kansas City probably punches its ticket to Miami this year.
Follow him on Twitter at Bueller118. He is John Bueller for Fansided. John, thank you for taking some time, my man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on today.
You got it, my man. You be good out there. All right, let's talk a little bit about Toyota of Hollywood. They are open till midnight. The #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. They've been kicking ass for a long, long time, folks. Hey, listen, they're going to make your payments till 2021. They've got all kinds of great deals going on. How about these pre-owned 2019 models? The CHRLE, not 23,000, 16,775, man. The Yaris L 4-door, not 17,000, not 15,000, 11,775. 2019 Toyota Highlander, not 38,000, not 31,000, 27,775. 1841 North State Road 7. Get on down there, see Steve Ostrov, Herbie Lopez, all the great guys out there. They will take care of you. I'm telling you, the finest Toyota dealership on the planet. It is Toyota of Hollywood.
Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. Beautiful Trade Winds Resort right here in St. Pete. We'll be out here through Wednesday, actually. Multiple shows throughout the day. We'll be back in the afternoon after the practices. We'll go here till about 11:15, and then we'll go, obviously, to the practices, and then we'll come back after both practices, and we'll do a little more radio down here. We'll probably maybe have some players with us in the afternoons. Right now, they're doing the weigh-ins. They did all their measurement stuff. Now they're doing meetings and things like that, and then they're getting ready to go to practice. So we're not going to have any access right now, but later on in the afternoon, I could start seeing us now get access and get some of these players and, you know, maybe talk to an Alex Highsmith from Charlotte. And this is a guy that you definitely want to look at, a defensive end from Charlotte. Well, some of the guys that I think will be Mike Caldwell is one of the coaches here, the inside linebackers coach for Tampa, and Ben Steele, an assistant offensive line assistant for the Falcons, is the West coach. Those are the coaches here as head coaches. Now, let me give you a couple of names that you may want to look at just in case if you watch the game or if you have access to the practices. Some of the positions, Kevin Dotson, a kid out of Louisiana who's 6'4". Maybe he's shorter or taller. I'm not exactly sure now because they did have the measurements, but the early ones. This is one of those guys that you definitely want to look at. A guy that played right tackle and left tackle, Jared Hilbers, is another guy. Play both sides. He's 6'7", actually. Luke Juriga, 4-year starter, an all-MAC selection. Played guard and played center. Quarterman's here, Pickney's here. These are guys, obviously, that, you know, inside backers, guys that could be opportunities for them. Also, Levante Bellamy out of Western Michigan is a running back that a lot of people are looking at, who's a blazer. He runs somewhere in the 4.3 range, maybe even 4.2. James Robinson out of Illinois State. 220, 5'9", so, you know, well-built, 4,400 yards in his career. A lot of a quick guy, a shifty guy. Patrick Taylor Jr. out of Memphis. Now, remember, Memphis, Henderson's with the Rams, Tony Pollard's with Dallas. Patrick Taylor Jr. was the backup to these guys at Memphis, okay? So this is a kid that, you know, maybe obviously there's something going on in Memphis when it comes to running backs. Kevin Dotson, a kid out of Louisiana that I told you about. Another guy is John Hightower, is another guy that you definitely want to look at out of Boise State. He's 6'2", 172, wide receiver. Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota is another guy that is going to catch people's eyes. Aaron Parker, another guy to look at from Rhode Island. Those are some of the guys. Also, Miami needs a safety, right? There's a kid by the name of Luther Kirk here out of Illinois State that could be also a guy that people may be focused in on. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Shaheim Carter, I think, is his name, out of Alabama. He's 6 foot 191. That's another young man that they're going to be looking at. Neville Clark out of Central Florida. He's a Broward kid, by the way. 6'1", 187. These are some of the guys that you can look at the. Now, listen, today starts practice. So today we will start to look at all of these guys. Hey, listen, James Morgan is here. The quarterback out of FIU is here. This is a guy that, he's considered one of the better quarterbacks in this bowl game, and this is a great opportunity for James also to kind of make an impact. I'm looking forward to seeing that young man over the next couple of days. One of the things that I like, and I got to tell you, Bill, I haven't had this luxury every year, is because over the years I've always done regular radio, right? And I have a radio shift. A lot of times my shift would take me out of one of the practices. So I would miss either the East or the West for the week. And then I would have to kind of get the notes from, the scouts and guys that I know here. They would tell me, all right, this guy shined, this guy didn't, and all that stuff. So I would get the dirt anyway, but I didn't get to see it myself. And I'm geeky like that. I like to see it myself. I like to take notes. I like to follow all this stuff. And so now, because Bill and I are in complete control of all of this, we're going to do 2 hours now, and then we're going to go watch practice, and then we're going to come back, probably do another 2 hours after that with interviews, all kinds of insight, all kinds of stuff. So, keep up with us throughout the day. And also at practice, Bill and I will be filming all kinds of videos that we'll be posting on YouTube at Big O Radio Show. Of course, those of you that are watching the show, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the broadcast there, as always, and spread the word and tell folks about us. 8 hurt in stabbing spree. Police Colorado say apparently random attacks left 8 people hurt in several locations. The suspect was detained by some of his victims. The hell is wrong with people? Just saw it come across the line. Morning Big O question. If Ryan Tannehill goes to the Super Bowl, what does that say about the Dolphins organization? It says that they don't have Derrick Henry. It says that they don't have the offensive line. It says they don't have their defense. That's all. Nothing more, bro. Ryan Tannehill's not the answer to anything. He's just a complement to what they're doing. What Ryan is doing, you can get 15 other guys to do that in the league. It's not that you can get 25 other guys to do that in the league. It's not that difficult. They're only asking you to make a couple of passes. I love how people want to spin it to the Dolphin organization. My brother, the biggest problem was drafting his ass at number 8 overall. That was the stupid part. I don't know if you really understand that. But Ryan Tannehill had no business being taken number 8 overall. He's never reached that and never will, because that's not who he is. So that's the bigger problem. And here's the other thing. Move on already, man. Like, I don't really care. I hope the kid wins the title. Doesn't make him a good quarterback anyway. So it doesn't matter to me. I don't miss him at all. He's not the answer. If Miami can get a Derrick Henry and get an offensive line like that in a defense, they can do this with Josh Rosen. They can do this with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They can do this with a slew of quarterbacks that they've had in the past. You only need a couple of throws. You're not putting any pressure on the guy. It's not a big thing, man. You guys got to let it go. Ty from the Bronx says, Jordan Love, the next Patrick Mahomes, just saying. Rich V says, Lamar choked. Bottom line, too cocky, wearing sunglasses on sideline against the worst team in the league in the Bengals. No room for that in the league. Rich, I would not go with choke. I think Lamar just got exposed. that they took away the run from him. They couldn't dominate, and then he had to depend on his arm. And while he threw for a bunch of yards, he really wasn't effective, wasn't putting up points. And so the game changed for him when they couldn't run and dominate on the ground. Just like I'm telling you, while Ryan is a completely different player, if Derrick Henry struggles in the AFC Championship game, Ryan Tannehill will not be the one bailing them out. Same thing. Eduardo Gonzalez says, good morning, buenos dias, good week, go Super Dolphins. Okay. Thank you, Eduardo. Appreciate you. Alex saying, hey, did you see Edelman get arrested for jumping on a Mercedes? Yes, I didn't see it, but I read the headline about Edelman getting arrested. Yes. Why he's jumping on a Mercedes? He must have been really, really, really inebriated.
See who he was hanging around with?
No. I just saw the headline. I didn't even see anything. There was video?
Amendola, and there was one other person.
So there's video?
I didn't see video. I just was told about like who he was hanging out with.
Oh, okay.
Man, I can't remember the other person, but there was 3 of them, and for whatever reason, he decided to, jump up on, I think it was a Rolls Royce.
A Mercedes.
A Mercedes? Okay.
Yeah.
In Beverly Hills, of all places.
Yes.
And I guess the cops don't like when you jump on expensive vehicles.
No, that's usually...
I guess he didn't have to make bail. He was released on his own recognizance.
Okay.
So,
All right.
It's nice to have a name.
I mean, it's only a huge thing if the person that owns the Mercedes wants to press charges, right? I would imagine. That's where it becomes a real problem for you. But he's got so much money.
I was going to say right out of his pocket, right?
Right. That's it. So I'm sure the person that owns a Mercedes is just pissed that they couldn't, swing it in a way that they can sue him for physical damages or something like that. That's all. Because in this world, that's all they want is they want to sue you. Let's see what else. One guy says, you were asking if Tanny wins 5 games with Miami, but does Fitzpatrick get Tennessee to the AFC? Yes, he does. I think I just said that. You might want to pay attention, Orlando. I just said about 20 quarterbacks can do what Ryan is doing in Tennessee. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. And, yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick easily can do what Tannehill is doing right now. And if you don't think so, do me a favor, Orlando. Just check out, bro. Please, don't even watch anymore. Don't listen. Because if you think that Tanny's actually a better passer than Ryan Fitzpatrick, I can't help you, my man. You're done. You're toast. Okay? What he's doing is not difficult. But I guess you want to be all, bitter about it and think that you're missing something in Ryan Tannehill. Go for it, man. Knock yourself out, bro. I find it very humorous. But that's all right. Now I know where you're at. Now I kind of know I don't need to read the text anymore. They come in when they say Orlando Sanchez. Heat lose to the Knicks, 124-121. The Heat lose 2 in a row for the first time this season. So that leaves Milwaukee as the only team in the NBA that has not lost 2 in a row. Which, look, think about it. They're the 29th team to do it. So 28 other teams did that before Miami. So it's pretty good, but it's still pretty bitter because you lost to the Knicks. If you lose back-to-back games against good teams, that's all right. I guess we can kind of live with that, but it does have a sour taste to your mouth when you allow 40 points in the fourth quarter to the sorry Knicks and you lose 124-121. And you get outscored 40-27 in the fourth quarter. And it's almost like what happened in the last game, that once things started going awry and they started coming apart, you could not stop the bleeding, as they say. And you couldn't figure it out. It was weird, and disturbing, too, on top of all. Now, again, they're 27-12. I can't go crazy about 27-12. I can't go crazy about 2 losses in a row. I get all of that, okay? That part, is one that is it pisses you off, but you can't necessarily go crazy about it. Now, if we really want to look at certain things with the Heat, you start looking at what's gone on lately, okay? And that's what you have to look at, not just the 2 games. Do you realize they're 3-4 in their last 7? That's really more of the disturbing thing about all of it, is that they're 3-4 in their last 7. Losses to Washington, losses at Orlando, losses at Brooklyn, and at New York. Okay? All 4 on the road. All the losses. And you think about it, Washington, not a good team. Orlando, not a good team. Brooklyn, borderline playoff team. And Knicks, terrible team. So you lose to 3 of the 4 teams are really bad teams. That's also not a good trend. That's where I get they're 27-12. I get we're not supposed to freak out about 2 straight losses, especially when you're the 29th team to do it. Okay? There's only 1 team left that hasn't done this. But look at what you're losing to. Look at your record in the last 7 games and the people you're losing to. That's a problem. And that's something that you have to look at. If you're Eric Spoelstra right now, you got to look at that and say, yo, what's going on here? That, my friends, is something to be concerned about. Let me tell you a little bit about Caneswear. We love talking about Caneswear. Why? Because at Caneswear, they got everything, man. And anything with a Canes logo, and don't forget, they've got Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins, Florida Panthers, and even Inter Miami. They've got the T-shirts. When the jerseys come out now in early February, they are going to have both styles of jerseys over there. In fact, they've ordered 2,000 jerseys. They are going to be your headquarters for Inter Miami jerseys at Caneswear. So make sure you get on down to 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. Caneswear at Miami Fanwear. That's the spot where fans like me shop.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodzie now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodzie can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Welcome back. We take you, of course, till about 11:15 here on the program. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the show, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. It's always like a 24-hour talk show. We're out here at the Trade Winds Resort here in St. Pete for the East-West Shrine Bowl. Looking forward to it. The new name is the East-West Shrine Bowl. It used to be the East-West Shrine Game. It's now the East-West Shrine Bowl.
Thank you for informing me of that. I got to go back and change that there, sir.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate it.
Actually, now they're setting up. That's a table where they sell all this kind of stuff. I always buy something every year. Now I got to, because all of mine are East-West Shrine Game. So I got to get one that says bowl now, all right? So I got to get an updated version.
It doesn't matter if it was game. You were going to get one anyway.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be on it?
That's true. I was going to get one anyway. Plus, these are the 2XL ones that are, like, ginormous on me. So, yeah. Big O, what are your thoughts on the Hurricanes report by Barry Jackson about partying and drug tests? Are you having Manny Navarro on Tuesday's show? Great work, and shout out to Bill, Eugene, and Homestead. I got to tell you something. I don't know too much about that story for me to comment on it and know what the hell is going on. I can look it up for you and then read and react, because I have not seen that story from Barry Jackson, apparently, of players partying. Let me see. I got to look it up here and see if I find it for you, and I'll check it out. But I don't know anything about that story, to be honest with you.
You never stop researching, even when we're on the air.
I know.
This guy's researching.
I know. I always am, and I guess I did not see that story when I was preparing. I was preparing more for draft stuff than anything else. So I probably didn't keep up with that story from Barry talking about the Canes. Look, man, everything that's going on with the Canes has been an absolute disaster. And Manny Diaz has a lot to prove next year, and he better prove it with a quickness. I'm trying to find that story here, but I don't see it here right now. I saw where Borregales, the FIU kicker, is transferring over to Miami. I saw that. Oh, here we go. UM program working to fix behind-the-scene issues. Interesting. Let's see. UM coach Manny Diaz hopes he has solved the program's biggest problem with the hiring of offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley and the move to the up-tempo spread offense. But conversation with multiple people around the program, including a veteran player, says there's another issue, particularly in the quarterback room, that must be fixed, and UM is working to achieve that. The player and other sources around the team say a few players seem more concerned with partying than focusing on football, and that a handful, including prominent ones on offense, broke curfew the night before FIU lost to go out. It didn't help that players are aware that UM's drug policy does not call for a suspension for a first failed drug test. That policy was taken advantage of, according to numerous sources. All of that had one regular on the team hoping Diaz becomes more of a disciplinarian next season. Diaz apparently realizes this. We're told Diaz reminded players before Independence Bowl that breaking curfew, drinking, and smoking weed would not be permitted. A source said Diaz had discussed implementing a 3-strike system in which the first failed test is a 1-game suspension, second failed test is a multi-game suspension, and a drug education course, and a third failed test results in dismissal. It's unclear if that system will be implemented. Under UM's current drug policy, the penalty for a first drug offense on a failed drug test is 10 hours of community service. Punishment for a second offense is players are withheld from 10% of their season's competition, 1 game for football. A third suspension requires missing 30% of the season's games, 3 or 4 for football. Wow. Oh, well.
Are you surprised millennials taking advantage of the program that's implemented?
What I'm surprised is that that Manny Diaz is this much of a disaster. That's really what I'm shocked at.
So at every turn, it just gets worse and worse.
I thought he was kind of a disciplinarian the way with the defense and all
Yes,
that, and the
right.
guys playing hard and hungry. And, I thought, okay, well, maybe this guy.
And he talks big about the
Yeah.
old way of the Canes and this, and we have to implement the new you. And
Right. But, I mean, what
talk
the hell?
is cheap, man.
Yeah, no, you know what? Now that you read that story and you watch the way the season played out, are you surprised? It's not like you can sit here and say you're shocked anymore. I just can't say I'm shocked about anything that goes on in that program now at this point, because I just don't think that the right person is running the program. And, I was against Highsmith taking over. Now I'm not. Now I've changed my mind on that. Now that I'm thinking about it, he needs somebody to look over him. He needs somebody to tell him, no, you can't do this. Because, unfortunately, Manny doesn't know what he's doing.
Basically, what you're saying is we need a real guy to come in there and kick some butt.
They don't have the kind of money that they're going to fire the guy and hire a new guy.
Right, we're locked in.
So you're going to bring him back anyways. So bring him back, have somebody look over him. That's it. I didn't like the idea, but now that I keep thinking about it.
We don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, you read these kind of stories, it's like, okay, dude, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And your players don't fear you, obviously.
And because of the monetary situation, how long do you think we're locked into having to be with Manny?
Yeah, but
we can't walk away from that.
It'll be at least 3 years.
Right, we're locked.
Then maybe they can buy out after that. You know what I mean? But they've got to keep him for about 3 years, probably. That would be my guess right now. Now, let me tell you something.
If you don't get a hold of it next year,
he's gone.
Imagine where you're at.
No, he's gone after next year. If next year resembles this year,
okay,
he's done.
It doesn't matter.
He will get fired and Blake James will get fired.
Yeah.
Okay? Both will get fired. That's all. So now I'm thinking about it, and you should do it. They should bring Zoe on and have him look over. Because then if he can't get the job done, you get rid of him and you bring in the coach that can. Because you cannot go through another season like what you saw last year.
So Zoe's got to show up to implement real change.
Yes. And also have somebody. Blake James doesn't know about football, so he can't police it and can't question it because he doesn't know it. You understand? So that's where
you need a football guy,
and I think that's what they want to do. I think that's what Zoe becomes.
It makes sense.
Zoe becomes the football guy that looks over. And I didn't like the idea, but now I like the idea. You actually need it. Unfortunately, because Manny doesn't know what he's doing. And if you got players that are more worried about partying, see, the UN players back in the day, those guys partied harder than any of these weak-ass millennials that are on this team. The difference is they partied after they got 14 tackles and 4 sacks. They partied after they threw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. They partied after they got the W. And if they partied before, they made sure that they showed up the next time to kick that ass. That's the difference. Those guys were held accountable. Those guys expected to perform at a high level. Here, these kids, they put on the helmet, and just because it says the U, they think all of a sudden they are Michael Barrow. And they're not. They think they're Ken Dorsey, and they're not. And that's the problem. Those guys don't earn it. They think they want everything kind of given to them. That FIU game, it almost seemed like they took the field like, hey, we're here. FIU's nothing. We'll take care of them. And then FIU spanked you. That's the kind of stuff that can't happen, man. Can't happen. And now that you think about it, and you hear that you get this story from Barry that they're more worried about partying, now you know why after every break they were never prepared. Now you know. Every bye week before the bowl game, never prepared in either one. Well, then, because your players aren't focused.
With stuff like this coming out, the old days, fine-tuning the pitcher, it gets clearer and clearer, and you understand why what happened on the field happened.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thoughts on Graham to the Giants? I don't know what to tell you, my brother. I don't know if what you lost was great. I don't know if what you're gaining now and elevating is great. We haven't seen enough. Don't know. And Flores was more of the deep. Remember, Flores is the defensive coordinator. So did you really lose a defensive coordinator, or did you lose the guy that is running Flores' defense? And what you're getting now is another guy that's going to run Flores' defense, right? That's why I'm not really, whatever. They lose Graham. He goes to the Giants, whatever. I just can't.
But we obviously overachieved.
Yeah.
You had the 2 corners that came over with them. It's got to be a little bit surprising. I mean, obviously, getting Chan Gailey, that's a great major coup, especially considering the fact we kind of already know Caldwell is going. Okay, he's not going to be there.
Right.
So we got to facilitate and get what you can, corral.
Right.
Okay.
But maybe this Josh Boyer guy's better.
Right.
I don't know. None of us know.
But
that's the thing. It's like
still
none of us can really.
It's a successful season. It was a successful season.
Yes.
To be
with no talent,
firing coordinators that are coming off of success. It's a little bit not the norm.
No, it's not. But if you weren't happy with it, then make the change. What you can't do is put it this way. University of Miami, I don't want to fire a coach after a year. I want to give Manny another chance because, hey, we could be wrong and maybe he is the right guy for the job. But you are now questioning, going, wow, are we staying with the right guy? And that's only human nature to question what's going on with Manny. You know what I'm saying? And if Coach Flores didn't think the offensive line coach was good enough, he fired him right away and put in another guy. And if he doesn't think that O'Shea was the guy, well, then fire him. And if you lose this guy, it is what it is. You lost him. Graham, now you elevate Boyer. Whatever, man. It's not the end of the world. I just, right now, there isn't enough of a track record for me to freak out on and say, oh, you lost a hell of a coach. I don't know.
Plus, all the moves the Dolphins have made, majority of them have been right on. So to say that this is not the right thing, can't do that. Everything has been right.
Yeah. Benjamin Lyles asking here, after QB, what do you think the Finns' next biggest position of need is? Edge, RB, OL. My brother, they need it all. But I will say this. You got to get me a tackle, and you got to get me an edge rushers. Those are the two. Now, what you do is, those are the two priorities. And it's not that I'm dodging your question. What you do is, whenever you're in the draft, number 5, number 18, number whatever it is that Houston lost now, which, by the way, that was a good thing by Bill O'Brien to choke, that finally we got our draft position. But
thanks, Bill.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Whoever is the best player. So if the edge rusher is better than the tackle, then you take the edge rusher, and vice versa. You need him anyway. Doesn't matter. I mean, Miami needs everything pretty much.
What have we said? We have every need except for pretty much wide receivers.
Right.
And
you could draft one, but it's not the biggest priority.
Exactly.
Because drafting one is not bad.
We got our 1-2
because Parker has never really stayed healthy, even though he stayed healthy this year. And Preston's a baby who maybe he just showed you something, and now they figured him out and they shut him down this year.
Sophomore jinx.
Yeah, and then that's it. They figure him out, and he was a flash in the pan. And then I like the other guys. So drafting that is good, but right now priority is definitely line and D-line. And then I would go shut down corner before running back. Because you can get running backs at any time during the draft. I'm not worried about a running back as much. You can find one. But a shutdown corner opposite of X, I would love that. I'm telling you. I would love that. So, yeah, plenty of options for you. Let me tell you a little bit about EJD Construction. Eric and John do an excellent job. Write this number down. Save it on the cell phone. 305-318-4978. Not a handyman, folks. Talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. Call Eric right now. This is the owner's personal cell number. 305-318-4978. I don't care what you want to do. That man cave. You want the TV to come out of the roof, out of the floor. I don't care what you want to do. You want to redo that kitchen. You name it. You call EJD Construction. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-318-4978.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodzie can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are
This is
back.
the Big O Show.
Beautiful Trade Winds Resort. And Travis Johnson, the VP of Marketing, is with us now at the Trade Winds Resort. And is this year 6 or 7 for us here? What is
I think
it?
it's 7 myself,
7?
but I don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
I know we've
I-
had a long partnership. And,
Yeah.
But, it's
Yeah.
6 or 7 for sure.
And it's like a perfect partnership, isn't it? It's pretty cool the way everything has worked out.
It is, and we appreciate it. And it's such a great time of year. It's such a great game, and for a great cause. too.
Yes,
So
which is
we
the
feel-
best part about it.
Exactly, right.
And we're helping the kids out from the Shriners Hospital. And that's, in the end, that's what this is all about. It's great for the players. And when they go visit the hospital, they just light those kids up, man.
Exactly, and that's the most gratifying part, for all of us is you get all this great excitement here for the week, but then you get that piece, what it's really all about here, and it's great for the community, it's great for our area, and we sure feel fortunate to have this event here.
So, Travis, this is, I guess, my 6th or 7th year here at the Trade Winds, and I always brag about this place because the way you guys have decked this place out, you don't need to leave. You get to relax. You got all the restaurants. You can visit a different pool every day if you want. The beach is ginormous. I mean, you know, we could.
Are you sure you've been working? I mean,
we technically, I think we should talk to the players and let's just have the game on the beach. It's big enough. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like the way you think there.
You know what I'm
I was a little
saying?
concerned about your workload, having all these things about the fun stuff going on, but no, for sure, and we take pride in that. It's kind of like even when the game's not here, that's what makes us different. You come here, it's like a giant cruise ship on land, right?
Yes.
You really don't have to leave for anything, and yeah, you got an award-winning beach out front, top 5 beach every year. So, we like to compliment that. We got great people here. We think that's one of the points of difference. But we got a lot of fun things to do, as you mentioned there. So we encourage people not only to come down for the game here, but any time of the year to enjoy all that St. Pete Beach and Trade Winds has to offer.
Yeah, the beach, the pools. You got the paddle boating with the swans and everything. They've got like
The giant slide. You got
the three-story
stories, yeah.
slide. But what's it called? You've got like a river that runs through the hotel.
Those are it's our signature amenity runs in there, paddle boats. So if you come down with the kids, or not even with the kids, you can take a nice leisurely pedal through the property and get a nice tour that way on the water. So, yeah, that's one of the things we feel that's important. Is we always want to do something that's cutting edge, and each year we add something to our amenity offerings, and we like to take some chances and have some fun. And people enjoy that when they come down here to do something that they probably wouldn't get to do maybe at the resort next door, as an example.
So yeah, and next door you've got that giant aquarium, which is
So Rumfish Beach Resort, that's our sister resort, and we've got the Rumfish Grill. But in there's a 35,000-gallon fish tank. You can actually swim in there twice a day too. Swim with the fishes. So that's been a nice offering too. We've had that now for the last 5 or 6 years. But great restaurant. You can grab lunch or dinner there, or if you just want to go down and check out the tank, you walk in and you can walk right up close and get a up close and personal experience with all the species we got in the tank.
Yeah. Now I've been there. Obviously I've been there several times because I've been here several times. As always, I love this place. Now, what's the newest amenity this year? Tell us a little bit about
we've
that.
Always got something. We've unveiled a floating water park. That's been there a couple of years, but that's a bunch of really cool, fun apparatuses that go right in the Gulf of Mexico. We've got a Jetliv. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. It's like the old Jetsons backpack that you put on. You can go up to 30 feet in the air out on the water. And really, there's always something. We're working on a few
But
things.
if I do that thing,
Yeah.
have you seen the commercial with that one? That the father's going to do it, and then the wife and the daughters are like, wait, hold on, and they all want to get their cameras ready,
right?
Because obviously he's going to wipe out completely. And so that would be me.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right. You're not going to probably become an expert on the first time there, but it's an experience, right? Where else are you going to be able to try that? So,
have you tried it yet, Travis?
I have not. I don't like to go up more than probably 5 feet. I appreciate you doing that on live air for me.
I'm told that you won't even go on the slide. Is that true?
I think Wendy got in your ear here a little bit. So
yeah.
Put on the spot. No, the slide I can do. I got two girls, 12 and 13, so they enjoy coming down and using all the fun stuff.
Oh, I see. So you had to hold their hands in order for you to get through the slide.
Exactly. Busted.
That's
exactly.
what happened, Travis.
Right,
we
right.
got you.
Thanks. Yeah.
We busted you, dude.
Yeah.
We busted you. All right. So tell the folks out there, if they want to find out more and they want to come out here to the Trade Winds Resort so they can experience what I've experienced now for 7 years, what do they got to do?
Well, the easiest thing is our website, justletgo.com. That's our motto here, just let go. And so that's the easiest way. Once you go there, you're going to get a sense of all the offerings and everything that we have going on. And we have our own in-house reservation agency. So once you take a look at that, give us a call. We got agents here right on site that can talk you through and give you more detail than about all the things that we talked about here today. So,
and let me tell you something. The other thing that I would tell you about this place, when you come here, you're on an island. So then you kind of feel like you're away from the world. And it's a whole different vibe, too. The entire island, the people, everybody, the restaurants, everything, you name it, you will feel like you're away from the world. That's the one thing that I do love. It's not just your resort. It's part of the island.
You are on an island. It's a Barrier Island. You come over that big bridge, which I'm sure. And as soon as you get there, it's like that's just let go time, right? So that's where you come, and whatever it is, there's so many ways to just let go, depending on what folks are looking for. And we like to think we're everything to everybody. So you come down and whatever that is, whether it's laying in a hammock, grabbing a pina colada on the beach, or doing one of the adventurous amenities we talked about, there really is something for everybody.
Do you have the number how wide the beach is from when you start the sand till you get to the water? Because I was telling people how large.
That is I don't know the exact number on that, but
it's close to 100 yards, right?
It's probably more than that, yeah, because it's a very, powdery white sand if you've never been here, and it's just, it's right there. That's another thing. If you step out of your guest room and depend on the unit, you're right there on the beach. And some properties, it takes a while to actually get out there. So, yeah, we're very fortunate in that in terms of the location and like I said, award-winning beach. TripAdvisor is ranked in the top 5 the last as long as I can remember since they started doing it. So, it's a great opportunity. I encourage people to go take a look and learn more about us on our website.
And let me tell you, the first thing you do is you get a room, right? And then you go to the balcony, and then you just open and look out into the ocean and the Gulf. And the therapy just starts right there. It's just therapeutic, dude. You're going to love it, I'm telling you. And if you bring that special someone out here, they're going to love you even more. Trust me, okay? You can do all kinds of stuff, golfing, beach.
Yeah, Valentine's coming up,
That's right.
Keep in mind, that's a good opportunity to come if you need an excuse to come down and see us.
An anniversary, maybe I can bring the wife. I took her, last year I took her to Paris. for our 25th.
Setting the bar pretty high there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I took her to I took her to Paris last year on March 18th for our 25th wedding. Oh, is it 25?
Okay.
You know, Travis, you got to come through on 25.
I'm coming up to 15, so I appreciate the advice here. I'm listening.
Okay, you got to knock it out of the
Yeah.
park, okay? So 25, this is what I did, just so you'll know.
Uh-huh.
We had dinner in the Eiffel Tower, and I gave her a new wedding ring in the Eiffel Tower, okay, for 25 years. That's how you do it.
Can you
But-
not tell my wife that? I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll send her the video.
Right.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I had the maitre d' film me and everything, which was really cool. So now I will top it off by bringing her here in March.
I was going to say that's the only way you can top it.
Exactly.
The trip to the Trade Winds, St. Pete Beach.
Because I'll let you in on a little secret
Uh-oh.
about my wife. She loves the beach more than anything in the world. She could probably sit on that beach every day, and she'll probably feel even better than being at the Eiffel Tower. So
There you go. See?
Therapy.
Right.
I'm telling you, when you come out
Yeah.
here to the Trade Winds, you're going to love it. Travis, thank you, my brother. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Yeah, we
Thank you
appreciate
for
you.
hosting us. We're going to continue to promote it and push it for you because we know this place is phenomenal. I've experienced it now for many years.
Great. Well, thanks for having us, and we appreciate you guys being here.
Travis Johnson, the VP of Marketing here at Trade Winds Resort. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it. You got it. All right, let's Bill, we are ready. We got to get ready for a little practice.
We got to go to practice, man.
We got some practice. We're going to go watch the boys practice. We'll have some fun out here. We will be back in the afternoon. Thank you, Wendy, as always. Thank you. And we will see you guys in the afternoon. And hopefully we'll have some players, maybe some agents, maybe some reporters, some writers, NFL folks.
Yeah,
all kinds of
basically,
stuff.
we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Right. We'll talk to, and we'll give you some reports on what happened in practice today, too, for the East and the West teams. And remember, follow us on YouTube at Big O Radio Show.
Thumbs up, subscribe,
You're gonna
please.
see plenty of videos coming up. Be good out there.
We'll talk to you in a bit.
This is the Big